Hello and welcome to Municipal Matters here on TV Cogeco. I'm your host, York Bellsmith, and coming up on today's show, we're going to talk to Andrew Hall. He's on the committee for the Cobourg Santa Claus Parade as Santa starts his 2015 tour of Central Ontario Sunday in Cobourg at 2 o'clock. Ashley Haynes and Brent Tully will be joining us as well to talk about the World Junior A Hockey Challenge, which is coming to Cobourg and Whitby December 13th through the 19th, with the gold medal game happening at the CCC on December the 19th. But first, always a pleasure to welcome Lynda Kay from the Northumberland United Way. Lynda, welcome.
Thanks.
And Paul Macklin, campaign co-chair. Pleasure for
Wonderful to be
have
here with
you
you, York.
join us as well. I know a lot of folks haven't had a chance to chat with you yet. Tell us a little bit about your experience so far, co-chairing along with your wife, Joan.
Well, it's been a lot of fun, and to some extent it sort of relates back to some of my past when I was involved in the world of politics, and you do get to see a lot of new places and things and meet new people and learn about how your community works, and that's part of what this is all about, and giving us a chance to go out and talk about United Way, not just out fundraising, but rather making sure that people are educated about what United Way does and where we go and how we try to get people involved and engaged and work with our volunteers and other partners. It's a wonderful experience, and we get some great feedback from people, so we're very pleased to be doing this. And I would encourage anyone else who would like to do it next year to consider doing it.
To consider stepping up, exactly. You're looking for somebody to ask, I'm sure, to replace you once you announce your campaign goal.
Yes, no, it's been fun, and we are seeing positive results at this point, and we're really looking forward to sort of closing out the campaign. I think we're roughly mid-campaign now,
right?
And our biggest problem is just making sure that people seriously realize that we are going to come to an end. We do want to get the money where it is going to be most useful, and so we'd like you to take the time to go to our website, and that is mynuw.org, and make sure that you do give us a little contribution. I mean, even a small donation is extremely important to us, and we know that it will help improve the lives of our community.
And a number of different ways people can help support as well, not only with that financial contribution, but also taking part in a number of events, which we will recap. One thing, Lynda, I do want to talk to you about, May Thompson has come up with some new videos.
Yes, she's done
this
a great
campaign.
job. Over the summer, she worked with a student from Trinity College School, and they went out and they talked to a number of our community partners and funded partners, and you know, they asked them a couple questions about United Way, and so the first of 4 different segments has been released and is now up on our website, and it's a great story about what United Way means to these organizations and what we do in the community.
We're fortunate enough to have that video, which we're going to air right now, and then we'll come back and chat about it and some events that are coming up and some that have already happened.
Northumberland United Way has a broad impact and is instrumental in addressing the growing challenges and needs in our community. United Way provides funding for our classroom-based youth violence prevention program, which is offered to students in grades 5 to 8 throughout Northumberland County. These sessions teach our youth important skills such as respect, empathy, assertiveness, anger management, how to deal with bullies, and the impact of social media. Last year, we served more than 1,000 students in classrooms in 12 different schools in Northumberland County.
The idea is that a number of people and organizations in the community come together to find common ground for worthwhile community endeavors and support those things. Recognizing that the work that we do is valuable was a great encouragement to us in the beginning. Through the Day of Caring and also through a grant program has supported our community garden. And the community garden is much more than just a food program. It's a place to be outdoors. We put a big emphasis on community. It's a place to gather with people and interact. And as we look at those kinds of programs that the United Way has supported, those are initiatives that are about building community, about building connection with people. They're ways of of connecting people who are living in poverty, people who are struggling, with the wider community. Often the issues of poverty, addiction, homelessness go unnoticed by the general public, but the United Way has taken note of those things and has stood with us in supporting initiatives that can change things for people.
The United Way is community and supporting community. I always think of the United Way as the agency that's there to do advocacy, to be part of the different groups that are trying to make a difference for everyone in the community, and also to be that broad stroke that is bringing the community together in so many different ways. United Way and Habitat partnered about a year ago to help fund a new program that Habitat wanted to bring to the community but didn't have the funding to do so. We needed a startup fund to do much needed repairs for low-income families who already own their home, and the United Way agreed that this would be a really great way to help keep people in their homes. So we partnered together. They provided the startup funds, and as a result we've already been able to help 5 families be able to stay in their homes and do those repairs, and we look forward, because it's a revolving fund, the families pay those back. We actually get to help so many more families in the future.
The United Way really is a unique kind of organization, and a community organization in terms of the truest sense of community, because not only does the United Way provide funding for agencies and other organizations to deliver services and programs for kids and families who are most in need, but the United Way plays a unique role in activating and mobilizing a community. So in that way, the United Way plays a really unique role because of the leadership they provide in that activation, that mobilization of a community to give, to take care of its own. And plays a leadership role in facilitating a process in terms of helping communities identify needs, identify gaps, which is also very evident in the 3 priorities that the United Way here in Northumberland has, looking at how can we transform communities so that they are stronger. How can we help kids be all that they can be? And how can we turn poverty into possibilities for kids and families? The United Way played a pivotal role in helping us begin our crisis service. And so we continue to deliver crisis services to kids and youth and families for kids experiencing mental health concerns and distress. The United Way in many ways is a conduit for change, a conduit to deliver on funding so services can be delivered, but also a conduit of hope.
So, Lynda, you were saying that's the first of 4 videos
That's right.
that will be released?
Yes, and so May's working on just editing the other content from other community partners, but we're looking forward to those coming out in the next few weeks. But it's taken some time to edit that all down and to get it into a nice strong message from our community partners. And May, who's on staff at the United Way, has been doing that, and we were really pleased to have the support of the student from Trinity College School.
Excellent. Before we started today's show, we were talking a little bit about just where does the money go, and more specifically, what percentage of the money actually stays in the community. There's a lot of people sitting out there keyboard surfing and posting up stats that without necessarily the right information. So let's get it out of the way right now.
It's sometimes referred to as the elephant in the room as
Exactly.
we go to the various corporations and businesses. But the reality is we spend between 15 and 18 cents of the dollar, or 15 to 18%, that goes to administrative costs, and it varies with the year. We find that is quite minimal in terms of how charities operate. And some of the material that goes around on the internet at this time of year makes statements that are just so outrageous that we don't know how to really combat them properly, other than to say, if you want to check on our actual figures for this year that's just passed, you can go on our website, or you can go to the Canada Revenue Agency, and you can see we have to file full and complete disclosure. And in so doing, I mean, everybody can see exactly what's happening. And all of your money that goes into United Way, Northumberland, stays in Northumberland.
Right.
And even the money that goes to administration, those folks live in our community, they work in our community, they spend those dollars in our community. So really, it is a true community organization that reflects the interests of those, and I think it's really positive. I can't say enough about how good this organization has been, and in terms of its organizational capacity, this is I think the smallest United Way in Canada to have received the Imagine Canada certification, which basically means that we are not only well run in terms of all of your history and background, but that you're audited, that you follow all good, solid accounting procedures.
Right.
And it really does, I guess in the old days you would say we got the good housekeeping seal of approval.
Right, sure.
But that,
I actually remember what that is.
yeah, well,
Your mom must have told you about that, eh, George?
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because it wasn't my house.
But that's important, because I think when people are giving good money, they want to have it well spent, and they want it accounted for, and that's what an organization does, like United Way in Northumberland.
One of the things, too, that people don't realize is a lot of these stats that they're seeing posted on Facebook and online are from the States.
Oh, yes, but even
No,
then,
I-
I'm not even sure they're accurate.
Exactly how accurate
really,
they are,
Some of them,
exactly.
I mean, make outrageous claims, and it just wouldn't happen in Canada. First of all, CRA would remove one's capacity to be a charitable organization.
Right, exactly.
And but I think it's important that people understand. I mean, I think most people understand that there is a cost to doing things properly and making sure that you've engaged the
Absolutely.
public and that you're doing a proper job. So in that regard, I think this organization is one of the best. Really, it's terrific.
Something else we were talking about before we came to air today was the underutilization of the 211 service.
Yes, well, a lot of people, especially when we go out into the community organizations and businesses and talk to them about how many people know what 211 can do for you. Well, in most cases, there are hardly any hands go up. You know, in some groups, maybe one hand will go up. I know what 211 is. But 211 is sort of like the key to unlock all of the social services that are in your community. And it can go from suicide counseling, prevention counseling, right through to a senior who's wanting to get access to a seniors group so they can socialize more in the community. It's a wonderful service. You get a live answer every time. It's confidential. It's free, and it is province-wide.
Right.
But we contribute information to that service every year, and it's wonderful because you're able to get some satisfaction immediately once you've made that phone call, and that's dialing 211. It's that simple.
Number of ways that people can help, and a lot of them involve food. And you're looking pretty fit right now, considering we're halfway through the campaign.
I'm looking healthy, all right, but I've been eating so much, but I must admit, enjoying it. I mean, we just finished Boston Pizza having a wonderful presentation.
That was back on Monday night.
That's right, back on Monday. It was a special night, and they did some good fundraising for us, so we're really pleased with that. And we've been doing this over the last few weeks. You know, we've had a lot of fundraising. A Taste of Port Hope.
That's
we were at
right,
the
yeah.
Harvest Stew festival, I guess you'd call it, with Big Brothers and Big Sisters down in Colborne. I mean, the list goes on of people who are out there and engaging the public and getting them to come in. And I mean, what better way to make a donation than to go out, sit down, and have a good meal?
Exactly. And can't forget the Super Bowl as well at Fleming College. Always a lot of fun, great
I heard
events.
they had lots and lots of soups. I unfortunately was out of town and I missed it, but
Well, I can assure you there were more soups than anyone could eat.
So they-
Over 20.
yeah, and I mean, a terrific fundraiser for us, one of their best years ever. I think they raised over $1,800, and people just had a great time, and certainly enjoyed the food and the baked goods. And that's one thing with the United Way campaign. We just have lots of food and fun, and that's a great way to fundraise. So,
How important is it for these businesses and organizations to step up to the plate to help out during your campaign each fall?
well, I mean, if they didn't, it would be very hard for us to reach our target every year. But I think it's, you know, they're all, again, it's the community coming together to help a strong community organization, and it's just, in my 26 years, I'm amazed every year at the tremendous support we get throughout the community. And it's great when businesses will come forward and say, hey, we want to help out, we want to support our local community, because as Paul was saying, and as they said in the video, today we have to take care of our communities, and we have to work together to take care of our communities. And it's just really wonderful when we have organizations that will step up and do that. And our own agencies, funded partners agencies that, get the events together, like Big Brothers Big Sisters and the Help Center and Community Living West Northumberland, that are all involved in these events and help to organize them in support of the work that we do together in the community as partners.
And then you get the business partners like Bonnie Thrasher,
Yeah,
who steps
Bonnie
up with
Thrasher,
Boston Pizza, great support.
Great supporter. I know in the future we have an event coming up at CJ's. I mean, yeah, it's amazing how the community comes together, not only just for United Way, but the number of events that are out there, and people put events together to support the community. It is totally amazing.
Right, and last year's co-chairs, the Burnhams, held their fundraiser this year, the pumpkin painting, again at Burnham Family Farm Market. Some of the pumpkins on screen now were a really another one that's just, it's just a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it's great, and it's amazing the different pumpkins that people paint every year. The artwork is incredible. So I know there's Joan's pumpkin.
Yes.
The little kids all wanted to win Joan's pumpkin. She did a fantastic job, all the lollipops, and no, it's just, it is incredible. And really, we really appreciate the Burnhams, and getting people to paint the pumpkins, and for the individuals that paint them, and I believe they raised around $1,000 again this year through that. So
Excellent.
we really appreciate that ongoing support. They've been doing that for at least 10 years or more, so it's become a tradition at Halloween.
Kids and adults alike wanting
Yeah,
that
that's
pumpkin
right,
with
they want
with
the
the
pumpkin,
lollipops on it. That's
right.
for sure.
Oh, sure.
We have some events that are still to come. Your night with the Cobourg Cougars has actually been rescheduled. It was supposed to be the 16th. It is now going to be November 25th.
That's right, on a Wednesday night, which is unusual for Cougar hockey fans who are normally out there on the Monday night. But it's going to be great, and we're looking forward to that evening. And we think that we've also got another event coming up too, which is going to be the Cameco Rock the Rink. And
2 events coming up on ice.
oh yeah, on ice. That's right. Well, we'll soon be seeing ice, I think. So this is just getting us ready for it. But and the interesting thing about Rock the Rink is that you can come out with no curling experience and have a wonderful time. And you get a meal and again food. We always introduce food into these, and
Right.
so you've got that part there. And as well, it's the equipment's provided, so you don't have to go out and acquire equipment. So, and especially for somebody who's been away from curling for a while, it'll be a great opportunity to just come back and try out the new Cobourg Curling Club, or West Northumberland Curling Club, I guess it's called, at the former, I guess, Jack Heenan Arena. And they've done a marvelous job of setting this up. And I think a lot of people would like to get back to curling. This is a great opportunity just to come out and give it a little try again. And it's $45 per person. And you get all of the curling, as I say, and a good lunch. So it'll be a good day of fellowship and fun. And besides that, we're going to raise some money for United Way.
Well, exactly, exactly. So the Cameco Rock the Rink Bond Spiel is coming up November 21st. Cobourg Cougars Night is the 25th. Let's talk about getting into the holiday season, and you can give your loved ones a donation in their name online.
Right. So, I mean, you can give a donation in your loved one's name. You can, give a donation in lieu of Christmas presents. You can do, you can really think about how you can give back to your community by giving to United Way at Christmas, for sure. The other thing that will happen is we're just getting things together for our annual online auction.
Right.
That'll happen through Northumberland today. So we're just out in the community trying to get some donations for that. So if anybody would like to support that, that would be appreciated. And that'll come. That auction starts on December the 3rd. Great place to get possible Christmas gifts or stocking stuffers. Check out our annual United Way online auction. So that's coming up as well.
Just in time for Christmas.
That's right.
Get some great
Perfect
deals
timing.
and help support the United Way as well. Let's talk a little bit about your campaign goal again this year. Now, we talked about it last time, but instead of setting a dollar figure, put a more human feel to it. So your goal is to help 24,000 lives.
That's right.
In Northumberland.
Improve 24,000 lives. And when we found out that last year 22,000 lives had been improved as a result of United Way, it seemed a logical goal to try to enlarge that. And it's something that I think puts a face, a human face on the issue that we're trying to deal with. Because one of the interesting things is, when you walk down a street and you see a homeless person sitting on the street with a cup or a hat on the street and trying to get support, that's one way of seeing it. But what we find in our community, there's more invisible people who need support, and you just simply don't see them. For example, let's take someone in a rural area who in fact wants or needs access to transportation in order to get to a medical appointment, or to, let's say if you were living in Warkworth, to get to a grocery store in Campbellford. You need transportation. And as people age, of course, they don't have the ability to keep their licenses. And over time, they need this sort of support, or health issues arise. So we're pleased to be contributing through this process of United Way to the Northumberland Transportation Initiative and making it more accessible. I noticed recently that Hamilton Township announced that they were upgrading with community care to provide that service, and it's for a modest fee of $5. You're able to get to your appointments. Those sorts of things help keep people in their homes. They help raise the standard of living in our community. We want to make sure that our neighbors and friends are as healthy and as happy and as successful as they possibly can be. And so building that capacity is partly what United Way does. And those folks are the face of United Way in your community.
Right.
They're your neighbors. 1 in 4.
Keeping up that quality of life. 1 in 4, that number's kind of staggering when you look at it that way. Do you feel that that sense has impacted this year's campaign, this fall's campaign?
I think going out in the community and saying that we're looking to impact 24,000 lives, I think it really brings home that we're talking about impacting lives in our local community. It raises the understanding that the funds raised stay here, and I think it's been very positive for the campaign. We've been out there for years saying that, but I think actually bringing a number to it, actually talking about that, it has really opened people's eyes to the number of people that are supported and served throughout the county through United Way. And as Paul said, it's the invisible. It's the a lot of people don't see poverty, but poverty is invisible in our community. You know, and the working class poor, or as the underemployed today, they're very challenged. And cost of food, cost of our utilities, cost of transportation, it's a huge challenge. And United Way is involved in all those areas in what we fund through our annual campaign. So, I think it is amazing how we touch lives across this county. And I mean, even in the video today, we saw a picture of song. And, for the last 2 years, we've been funding that organization to help it grow and it creates its capacity and be able to bring music to children at school. And so, here's another way we're touching lives. And, sometimes people just don't connect us with the fact that there's United Way dollars that are supporting an organization such as Song, or, supporting an organization such as Greenwood, who we saw David in there. And we've had a long-standing relationship with Greenwood. And, sometimes the more higher profile agencies like Cornerstone and such, people will recognize, or the YMCA who we're involved in. But, sometimes it's those smaller grants that we give out can have a huge impact, and we're very proud that we've been doing granting for a long time, and those do change lives for sure.
And it's that impact we want to keep having. Lynda, thank you very much for
Thanks
joining
again,
us
York.
again. Paul, thank you very much for joining us.
here.
A pleasure to have you sitting down across from me today. Still to come, we have Ashley Haynes and Brent Tully coming up from the World Junior A Hockey Challenge coming to Cobourg and Whitby in December. And Andrew Hall, we're going to talk about Santa Claus coming to Cobourg as Municipal Matters continues here on TV Cogeco.